video 2, because the first one did not fit all, unfortunately. I'm at a 15-minute max limit. So I'm going to try to finish these in this next video. So each pair is similar, so that's important because if things are similar, I'm able to set up proportions. So if we look things that we need to be able to find, the unknown signs, I need to find W. I also need to find Y. So it looks like just those two that I'm finding for that particular shape. So I know that Y is going to correspond with 7. I also know that the 6 is going to correspond with W. So if I look, I need to figure out some things that are going to correspond with things that I have. So the 2 doesn't have anything. Yes, the 11.25 has the 15, but I also have this 3 and 4 go together, so I'd probably rather use 3 and 4 than the decimals. So if I set up my proportions, I'm going to find W first. I can say 3 over 4, so the top one over the bottom one, so I need top over bottom, is equal to 6 over W. So again, I can set up proportions. They already told me it's similar, so I don't have to prove that it's similar first. So cross multiply, 24 equals 3W, divide by 3, divide by 3. W is going to be equal to 8. So there's the first thing. Okay, so W is equal to 8. So I also need to be able to find Y. I can still use 3 and 4, so I'm going to choose 3 and 4 again. That's nice and easy. So if I go 3 over 4, I need to make sure I go Y over 7 for this one. So I have 4 times Y, which is 4Y, 3 times 7, which is 21, divided by 4. So Y is equal to, what is that? 5 and 1/4, I guess, 5.25. Let me just make sure. Yes, 5.25 as a decimal. So Y is equal to that, and then I have W was equal to our 8. Just to point over to this one, the variables that I need to be able to find, I need to find X, and that's going to go with our 6. I also need to be able to find Z, and Z is going to go with the 12, and I think that is it. So just those two. So I also need to make sure I find sides that I know both of. If I look 4, I don't have what goes with 4, so I can't use that. The 9, I do have the 15, so I can use that. 11, I don't have that, so it looks like I have to use the 9 and the 15 to be able to set up our proportions. So I'm going to go from the left shape over the right shape. So I'm going to have 6 over X, so I'm going to find X first. And then I have 9 over 15. So I can only have one variable at a time, so I can't use the Z and the 12 within the 6 and the X. So cross multiply, 9 times X. 6 times 15 is 90, I believe. Yep. So 90 divided by 9, divided by 9, X is equal to 10. So X is 10 in the first one. So I also need to make sure that I find out what Z is. So that's going to match up with 12. So I can, again, use the 9 and the 15. So if I choose 9 over 15, our first proportion doesn't matter as long as our second one we match up the same way the first one is related. So if I go 9 over 15, I need to make sure I say Z over 12. I could do the reciprocals. Technically could say Z over 9. If I say Z over 9, though, I need 12 over 15. So we have options for that, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll with a 9 over 15 again. So cross multiply 15Z. 9 times 12, I believe, is 108. Let me double check that. Yep, so 108. Divide by 15, divide by 15. So Z is equal to 100 divided by 15 is going to give us 7.2. And then those are our missing sides. So we just have X and Z there. So similar, set up proportions, and we can solve. All right, page 3, we have some missing ones here too. So a couple important things. 32 and the V are definitely going to go together. So 10 is the smallest side. So we're going to make sure that that 10 and the 4.2 go together for that. And I guess another way to think about this, W, the V is across from the W angle, so the one that goes with the V is also going to be the one that's across from the W, so I have 32. Let me put rectangles for those so they're not both circles. And then I also know that the 8 and the U are going to go together there too. And across from M, those are going to be related. Or you can say in between W and Y, in between W and Y, those go together. So setting up proportions, 10 over 4.2, so left triangle over right triangle, and then if I do left triangle over right triangle, I need U over 8. So if we cross multiply, 4.2U, and then I have 80 divided by 4.2 on both sides, u is equal to 80 divided by 4.2. Gives me a decimal. I'm going to go ahead and round to the 10th. So I'm going to look at one spot past the decimal so that 4 doesn't bump it up. So we were going to end up with 19. So we end up with 19. We don't have any units, so I can just leave it as that. But I also need to be able to find our v. So if I set up another proportion, again, I'm going to keep that 10 and that 4.2. So 10 over 4.2. And then I'm going to have 32 over v. So we can cross multiply. 10v equals 32 times 4.2 is going to give me 134.4 divided by 10 divided by 10. V is equal to, I can just move the decimal once, 13.44. So we end up with those side lengths there. Alright, so in C119 we're finding the perimeter. We know perimeter is the distance all the way around. We also need to find area. So I will put perimeter in blue and the area in red. This one's super easy. We can already find the area, 1/2 base times height. So we know our base and our height are perpendicular to each other. So we find our 90. So the 12 and the 5 come together. So we have 1/2 times 12 times 5. Half of 12 is 6 times 5 is 30. So if we want to put units squared, we can, but we don't necessarily have units, so I can leave it as it is. So perimeter, I'm missing this side, but we know it's a right triangle, so I can go ahead and do Pythagorean theorem. We're missing our c. So 5 squared, 25, 12 squared, 144, c squared, 169, take the square root, c is equal to 13. So now I know that that's 13. So now pretty easy to be able to find our perimeter. So we're just adding up all three sides that we have. So 13 plus 12 plus 5, which actually gives us the same thing of 30. So we know that this is our perimeter, and we know that this is our area. So rare occasion where those things equal each other, but I suppose it is possible. So B, perimeter and area. So I know, highlight the sides that we know already, and then we got to figure out the ones we're missing. So I know that that's 4, 2, 4, 7, 2, 3. So I don't know the other sides there, so I got to do some work. So if I look, the whole distance 4 and 4, based off of this and this, so the whole thing from here to here is 8. So that would mean if this is 2, that this part here has to be 6. So then I know that part that I can add into our perimeter. And if I look at this whole part, 7 and 2 is 9. So if this, so 7 and 2, that whole thing is 9. So if this is 3, that also means that is 6 over there. So then I have all of my sides to be able to find our perimeter. So if I add those up, so making sure we show our work. So perimeter is equal to, start at the top and go to the right, go clockwise. 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. And that ends up giving us 10, 12, 16, 23, 25, 28, 34. And I don't have units, so I can just keep this 34. So then we can break this up into shapes we do know how to find the area of. So you've got options. Probably have to break it up into at least 3 shapes though. So if I go ahead and do that, I can break it up into, I'll go vertical. So I know that this is 2 times 3. So 2 times 3, that one's 6. So then this one is going to be 2 times 4, which is 8. And then we need to figure out this inside one. So if this whole part is 7, and this part's 3, that means that this is 4. And then the whole entire length is going to be 8. So I have 8 times 4, which is 32. So this rectangle is 32, this one's 6, and that one's 8. So I can add those together for our area. So area is equal to 6 plus 32 plus 8, which is going to give me 46. 32 plus 8 is 40, plus 6 is 46. Alright, this one here, so we got a trapezoid. Again, we got an area formula for trapezoid, so if you want to break it up into other shapes, well, we can just use this formula here. You know, our B1 and B2 are the ones that are parallel, so 7 and 10. Our height is perpendicular to those. So our area is 7 plus 10 times our height of 4. So 1/2, 7 plus 10 is 17 times 4, which ends up giving us 34. So our units are 34. Our area is 34. So perimeter, I currently have 3 of the 4 sides. So I'm missing the slant, so we're going to have to make this into a right triangle and do Pythagorean theorem. So I can slide this 4 over. If this from here to here is 7 and that whole thing is 10, that means that this is 3. So I'm missing our c value, and again, a right triangle for that. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 and 16 give me 25. Take the square root, so c is equal to 5. So that's 5. And now I finally have all those values for our perimeter. So this was our area. Oops, I accidentally put it in blue. That's okay. So perimeter is equal to 7 plus 4 plus 10 plus 5, which ends up giving me 15, 19, 26. So our perimeter there is going to be 26. Alright, now we got some algebra. So first thing, distribute. So x times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 2, negative 2x. And then this side, we're really just distributing each of these pieces. So 3 times x is 3x squared, or 3x times x. 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. And then I need to distribute that 1 through both of those things. So plus x and minus 2. So what terms that I have, should be next there. So I have negative 6x and a positive x, so I can combine those like terms. I'm also going to subtract the 3x squareds all in that same step, so minus 3x squared. So those actually cancel. Those are gone. I'm left with a negative 2x equals negative 6x, and a positive x is going to give me negative 5x minus 2. So then I can add 5x to both sides. So I have 3x equals a negative 2 divided by 3 divided by 3. X equals negative 2 thirds. So we get that out. Alright, so I'm going to jump to C. Proportions. Cross multiply, definitely a skill we need to know. 3x. But I got to make sure x plus 1 is in parentheses. So when I write this out, 6 in parentheses, x plus 1, distribute. So 3x equals 6x plus 6 minus 6x. Negative 3x equals 6 divided by negative 3 divided by negative 3. X equals negative 2. So we end up with negative 2 for that one. Again, cross multiplying before I go up to this one. We have 2x, 15 divided by 2 divided by 2. X equals 7.5 for that one. Alright, B, again, some multiplication here and solving. So if I distribute x to both of those, x times x, x squared, plus a 2x plus 1x plus 2 is equal to x times x, x squared, x times negative 1, so minus x, plus 3x minus 3. So I'm going to combine like terms and move the x squareds at one time. So minus x squared, and then pretty nice, those are going to cancel. So no x squareds. I have 3x and a plus 2. So 3x plus 2 is equal to a negative x and a plus 3x. It's going to be 2x minus 3. So I'm going to move the x's and the numbers all in one step. So minus 2x minus 2x. But I can also subtract 2. So minus 2 minus 2. So x is equal to a... Make sure I think I made a mistake. Did I make a mistake? 3x. This is no, x equals negative 5. I think I made a mistake on the answer key. I put it on Google Classroom. I think that should technically be x equals negative 5. If I plug it back in, just really quick, negative 4 and negative 3, positive 12, negative 2, negative 6. Yes, I think I made a mistake on the answer key. So the answer key should be x equals negative 5. Alright, flowchart. So we're making a flowchart just for time's sake of the video, because it's we're going to have to make a third one, unfortunately. But based off of that scenario, it says Marcel and Harpo live in apartment 1, 8 Logic Street. Marcel took a guitar to band practice. So Harpo hears guitar music. Also, Marcel took his guitar to practice, so because of those two facts, Harpo can decide that someone else in the building is playing the guitar.